Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 Mercury Retrograde reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. And if you hear any snoring or bone chewing behind me, that's just Esme, my dog, so don't pay it any mind. Okay. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Taurus be affected by the September 2021 Mercury Retrograde? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. This Mercury retrograde is astoundingly intense and unlike most Mercury retrogrades we ever see, because there's the negative aspect of Mercury retrograde, right? But also there's this absolutely brilliant planetary and star alignment during this time that calls us forward into success, into power, into personal understanding. And so the Death card is being able to transform with the power brought to us by Mercury retrograde. And then it leads us to the world. It opens up the world to us because it's like, okay, well, if I can do this, if I can move forward this way, if I am this determined, this focused, this driven, this much embracing what I desire, why can't I conquer it all? Why can't I succeed and achieve? It then brings us to the Ace of Fire, which is a gift from God's source spirit. However you see the divine, the universe, passion, determination, focus. And then it brings us to the Three of Fire, very much in our inner selves, this sense of fire, determination, being led out of darkness into a place of light, into a place of, insight and ideas and blessings. Our emotional self, we start off with the Six of Pentacles. We need to have things be in balance. If we don't have things be in balance, we're going to tend to internalize and put it all on ourselves and say, oh my gosh, I should have done more. No, it's not that we should push ourselves further. It's that we should see how to harmonize situations. And not even harmonize situations, harmonize ourselves. If we can harmonize ourselves during this Mercury retrograde, we're on fire. You know, when you get upset, instead of, sitting in the anger or sitting around people who get you really angry, step away, step back, come into yourself, or, go to the restroom if you're at work and you have to work with these people all the time, and just connect with you. And maybe even do it with like a little sweet or a little lozenge that you put in your bag, and just have one when you're getting really upset, and just sit back and let that flavor take you out of the situation and put you into yourself for a moment. We have the Magician, as above, so below. As we believe it, so we become. And that's why it's going to be so important during Mercury retrograde, but just in life in general, to be able to center ourselves, to focus ourselves, and to move ourselves forward in a higher energy vibration. It moves us to the Queen of Swords. So Mercury retrograde coming through. The swords represent air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so we do see Mercury coming through very intensely when it comes to our power, when it comes to our words. We have to be a little bit more mindful about this than maybe other signs have to be, because there's power in this Mercury retrograde that we harness for ourselves, and there's power in the intensity to us. But because communications can be wonky during this time, because, things can get a little bit misconstrued, or we can become a little bit too intense, or things just tend to go wrong and not work the way that we want them to. We have to be mindful of that energy coming forward, but also the power of our words and the focus of ourselves, and the way our speech and our laser focus drives us. And then we have the Nine of Cups. There's a blessing here. There's a wish being granted that really brings us to the next level. There's good fortune around us, which makes sense with the planetary alignment. Now, because this video shouldn't be 500,000 minutes long, the planetary alignment of Mercury, of the time of Mercury retrograde, is going to be in the full moon reading, which I'll have linked either in the comment box below or in the description box. But that's going to show us in the very beginning, that will show you the way the planets interact with us during this time. We're going to be focusing on the star alignment during Mercury retrograde, and then the planetary alignment and the star alignment when Mercury retrograde goes direct. Okay, so let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Taurus needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And oh goodness, there's 3. Okay, so very interesting. We need to be mindful of ourselves. There are some instances, there we go, where we can be astoundingly driven, astoundingly focused, very kind of mature, but also the sense of, I will not back down. Like, I know what is right, I know what is wrong, that's it, let's move. And then we can feel also very insecure, very much doubting ourselves, fearing how we move forward, where it is that we want to be, what it is that we desire. Are we utilizing our money the right way? Aren't we utilizing our money the right way? Are we moving forward in what we desire? Are we getting to the place that we want to be? And then there's going to be the sense of just screw it, just go, go, go. And we're going to be very drawn to people who have this complexity of earthly relation during this time, meaning that there are times where they come off astoundingly confident, and there are times where they come off, just naive and insecure. And then there's this aspect to them that's just going to be like, we just need to get it done. A little bit of a hothead, a little bit of of playing things against each other, just so that they can see themselves moving forward. We have to be mindful of that energy during Mercury retrograde, because it's going to be very enticing to us, but it's also going to be very corrupting for us. Now, our chakra energy for this time, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Ooh, just fell right out, and that's your angels and masters. This is the this is the star soul chakra, there we go, located 6 inches above the crown. Your angels and divinity are watching over you, protecting you and guiding you forward. This is going to be the time where we just need to step back. As Spirit said before, stepping back, taking time out, just reconnecting with our divine power and our divine love and institutions and guidance. That's going to be everything for us during this time. So let's start talking about Mercury retrograde, seeing how it correlates with what the tarot has to say, and seeing the things that we have to be mindful of during this time. So Mercury retrograde, we see technological breakdowns, we see nervousness, anxiety, travel delays, and a sense of losing things, a sense of losing our thoughts, like, oh, I thought that, it just slipped my mind, give me a moment, or misplacing things. That's what Mercury retrograde brings. It brings a little sense of chaos coming in the realm of communication, in the realm of travel, in the realm of, our day-to-day lives, our interactions with the world and with others. So Mercury retrograde usually happens 3 to 4 times a year. This year it's going to happen 3 times, and this is our last Mercury retrograde of 2021. It usually lasts about 24 days. We find ourselves during Mercury retrograde dwelling on the past, dwelling on things that we should have done better. And we can see that with things being out of balance. We can see that with this sense of following the light out of the darkness, and that light being a guiding force for us in our inner selves with the Ace of Fire, the being out of balance with the Six of Pentacles at our heart. Now, if we can avoid signing any contracts during this time, that would be great. If we can't, just make sure we have another set of eyes looking it over, or we put it away and look at it again. That would be awesome. Now, we need to double check all emails and posts before we put them out into the world. Again, if we need to do it instantaneously, okay, we can't help it, but if we can put it aside, reread it in a couple of hours or a day or two, that would be the best thing. If we can look at posts and, not post instantaneously, let ourselves step back from it, let ourselves step out of the emotional current that we're in, that would also be really, really good. Now, on the 6th of September started the shadow period, the first shadow period of Mercury Retrograde. That's when Mercury Retrograde shadow period begins. So what this means is that you've gotten an idea around a Mercury-controlled aspect, thinking, speaking, contracts, and travel, excuse me, contracts and travel that we're going to see come up in and during Mercury Retrograde. So Mercury Retrograde starts on the 27th of September. It goes from the 27th of September to the 18th of October. And then we have the Mercury Stationary Direct, which is another shadow period, beginning on the 18th of October, going into the 2nd of November. So when we have Mercury Retrograde coming into its full force, we have the planetary alignment of, that is linked, that I'll have linked down below. But when it comes to the stars, we have Mercury conjunct the fixed star Arcturus, which Arcturus is the star that has us obtaining justice through power. It's the star of bringing richness, bringing esteem, and of great determination. And we can see that with the Magician. I mean, in our hearts, we have this place of esteem. We also see the esteem, again, playing forward with the Queen of Swords, aligning with the Mercury power and bringing us a sense of accomplishment, a sense of success. Now, this can promote lasting success if we are in a positive and high energy place. It doesn't even have to be a high energy, like thinking, I have to be super happy all the time. Just a higher energy vibrational mindset starts to move us forward. If we step out of darkness, as we step out of darkness during this time, we have to make sure not to dwell on the past or dwell on things that we cannot change. And this star really helps us look at things and say, you know what? I'm determined, I'm focused, I want my richness, I want that beauty and that success in my life. We're all going to accomplish this in different ways, but there's a sense of, yes, I can. Yes, I absolutely can bring forward this power, and also this palace of being, this sense of stepping into what I have always dreamed. If we have a negative energy vibration around us, we can find ourselves getting overwhelmed very easily. And that's why it's going to be very important to step into our own energy. If we do, and I know I've mentioned it before, but the Wim Hof method, where you stand under ice cold water, that has us taking our minds away from everything. And the only thing that we can focus on is wow, this water is cold. It puts us directly in our bodies. If we're having a hard time focusing our minds during this time, we might want to try that method. I find it actually very helpful, and that's how I start every single day. So here, there's going to be a sense of needing to step into ourselves, needing to connect with ourselves, more so than people think. People will think during this time, Taurus, that you can just plow forward, that you are changing and developing and you're seeing new opportunities and pathways forward. And we see that here within the cards with the death and the world opening to us with the power of, again, the Magician, but also the sense of this light guiding us, the sense of seeing into the dark crevices and not being afraid anymore. We turn monsters into opportunity. We turn shadows into what they really are. And we don't psych ourselves out. This can be a very easy time for us to psych ourselves out. But there's a sense here of, no, I'm going to focus on the prosperity. I'm going to focus on my earthly bound power and insight in the way that I connect with the earth and myself. And that's just going to be my truth and my focus. Now, Mercury is going to be conjunct the fixed star Spica. Now, this star brings us success, renown, riches, fame, and a sweet disposition, which you wouldn't think would go with success and renown and riches. But remember, again, this is all going to be relevant, or relative. It doesn't mean that we're going to become, red carpet famous, or that everybody's going to be shouting our names and the paparazzi is going to be chasing us. What it means is that we start to see a job well done. We start to take recognition in ourselves. And as we do so, maybe people start taking recognition within us. There starts to be this renown, the sense of, if you want a job well done, you go to Taurus. And that's really the energy that's around you during this time. You can play it up, but make sure not to walk in cockiness or arrogance, because that can kind of be very close. Because even though there is this sense of Mercury retrograde, it's almost like you're walking through a minefield and not blowing up. And people are like, "Ooh, how do you do this, Taurus? Like, how does this energy guide you?" And that's the way they feel, like innately. They might not say it, like, "How does this energy guide you?" But I mean, that's going to be the power around you, which is super cool. This also brings us love with Spica, with the fixed star Spica. This brings us love for the arts and science, but can also be hard on those of us who have a little bit more of an innocent approach to the world. It can make us be a little bit callous or put up walls, and we need to be mindful of that, because the sense of, I need to connect, but I also need to not give away myself. So there's going to be a give and take during this time that really comes into play. Now, it also brings us this above average intuitive psychic abilities, which has this kind of androgynous, spiritual alignment air to it that can make us feel like, wow, there is, like, people start to see, like, there's something about you, Taurus. Now, there's going to be something about everybody, because their alignment is under the star Spica, but there's this sense of, I'm harnessing this power, the magician, I'm calling forward what I need. And he's in robes and has long hair. And so we can sit there and say, is this a he or is this a she? And we're looking at things and saying, well, why does it have to be defined? Like, why do I have to know the energy that's coming into me? Like, how to present myself or move forward in this here and the now? Why can't I just take this energy and run with it? So it doesn't matter. It's not going to be one fixed way or another. It's not going to be like we embrace the sacred feminine or we embrace the sacred masculine more and more. The both of them are coming together, and we're going to see that we're propelled by them. Now, this is also a great time for scientists, writers, and artists. So there is the sense of things coming together, but also of creators, of people who are looking for new roads and new inspiration and new guidance forward. Now, on the 18th of October, Mercury stationary direct comes into play, and that lasts to the 2nd of November. So it's like the shadow energy of Mercury comes into play. The planetary alignment is Mercury sextile Venus, which brings charming, soothing energy and makes it a great time for love, for focusing on what we love and following love forward. It's a time to follow peace and to set down roots in what we love in life, and to say, you know what, that has meaning, that has power, that has brilliance. Mercury trine Saturn brings this determination for achievements and, tackling difficult situations that have held us back in the past. Our stars are going to be a little bit more complicated. So it's going to be Mercury conjunct fixed star, and do bear with me with this name, Vindemayatrix, which it comes to us, if we come to this time at a lower energy vibration, can just bring us down. It really can. It can take away all the blessings, all the positivity, all the power that we have around us, and make us think, no, I can't do it. Or, I'll do it later. Or we just don't seem to have that drive if we let the star take over. This is going to be a really good time to say, you know what, I need to embrace a higher energy vibration. I need to go into this, connecting myself to the earth, making sure that I'm not eating, processed foods, and making sure that I am staying hydrated and connecting to myself spiritually, and embracing the fact that the soul star chakra, located 6 inches above our head, is connecting us with our angels and our spirit guides and divinity so profoundly and beautifully. Because if not, we can tend to be really drawn to the darker side of life, to the more macabre, and that's just going to bring us down. So we have to be mindful of that. We can find that we are, just drawn to the little bit more macabre during this time, the little bit darker, the little bit nastier things, or things that are more base energy vibrations. And if we see that, step away from it. Say, oh, I see you. I see what path you're trying to get me to walk, and I'm coming out of the darkness. I'm not going into it. Now, with Mercury conjunct the fixed star Porrima, this brings us again to having to keep a high energy vibration, because if we keep a high energy vibration, this almost becomes like a superpower. We can see the people and call out the people that have this underhanded nature to them. If we come to it with a lower energy vibration, there's just a sense of worry, and it can almost feel like paranoia, and this anxiety starts to build in us. And it's like, oh, I'm not working hard enough. Everything's going to fall away. I'm never going to get to be to the place that I want to be. We start kind of becoming skewed towards that energy. But if we keep a high energy vibration, if we say to ourselves, you know what, I walk in power, I am divinely blessed, there is this greatness to me, or there is this connection to me of the greater earth and this greater power, then we can start to see ourselves raising our energy vibration, but just staying in a more positive mindset and really calling ourselves forward. Now, with the Death card, we can see the dying away of the old self and the rebirth of the new during this Mercury retrograde. We can see that pulled towards the darkness, pulled towards the doubts and the fears and the worries and the, obsessing over certain things, and the needing to step into the light, into our new power, into our greater understanding, into a sense of, I've been changing for so long. There is such an intensity, there's such a beauty, there's such a brilliance to me that gets to move me forward. And we might find this actually to be a little bit arrogant. We can sit there and say to ourselves, Taurus, where do you get off saying this? But we feel like we're transforming. We feel like we're stepping into a new us. And the world can feel just a little bit chaotic during this time, but when hasn't it, in recent time? So we're going to be looking at things and saying, I see the chaos, but I also see the beautiful grounding that is a part of me. And it moves us to being able to say, I'm opening the door. I'm opening the door and I'm embracing the world. I'm moving forward in a passionate, powerful, beautiful way. And I'm really embracing who I am, who I want to be, and how I desire moving forward in my life. We see the seasons not as something to be endured, but as a beautiful change to be embraced and a beautiful way forward for us to say, this is what I love and this is what I need and this is who I am. The world calls to us during this time. We might not need to be, again, center stage. We might not need to have everybody knowing us. But what we find is that I get to enjoy my life. I get to enjoy the part of the world that I stand in and that I inhabit and that, guides me forward. In our inner selves, there's this fire, there's this passion, there's this determination, there's this light that says, this is the reason why you're here, Taurus. This is who you are and this is where you need to be. And you might not like it all the time, because sometimes we sit there and think, well, why can't I be this? Or why can't I do that? But we start to say, why not? Why not be able to embrace what I'm good at? Why not be able to take pride in who I am and how I move forward? Because the light is guiding us on a new path, on a new way, on this sense, and in this sense of, I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey and not everybody understands. I'm on a journey and it gets to lead me to somewhere amazing. And I get to see that there's more to this world than I originally thought. Now, emotionally, we need to keep things balanced. We can tend to become too emotionally invested in our work. We can tend to think of our work or whatever brings us financial prosperity as an extension of ourselves, a really powerful way to view the quality of our life. And though, yes, sometimes that is the case, it's not always. And this is going to be a time where we need to balance things. We also need to know that we can't do everything. We can't put everything on our shoulders, say, don't worry, I got it. Don't worry, I got it. This is a time where we need things to be fair, the give and the take to be on equal footing. The Magician, as above, so below, as you believe it, so it becomes, is astoundingly important during Mercury retrograde because it's our mind that plays into everything. And we can see ourselves propelling, or perpetuating generational curses if we're not careful. And what generational curses are, because they sound so scary, they're just simply negative energy that has been passed down from generation to generation. A sense of lack, a sense of fear, a sense of can't, or a sense of anger. And now we're going to see ourselves calling out that energy, calling out that pattern and saying, no, there is more to me than will ever meet the eye. There is power and there is brilliance to me. We start calling forward generational blessings. We start calling forward those little things. For some of us, it might be very little things that were the times of laughter, the times where we felt our hearts soar. For others of us, it's going to be bigger. And we're saying, you know what? I'm focusing on that energy. We have to be really mindful not to dwell in the past, not to say, oh, I'm perpetuating, negativity, or wow, I'm perpetuating blessings. Wouldn't everybody be so proud of me? And start having our minds live in the past. It's going to be very easy. We have to be mindful of that. We are claiming our elemental power, truth, determination, focus, insights, meaning that we're looking at our fire, what drives us forward in our work, what drives us forward to, get out of bed in the morning and saying, I claim this. I claim this as my beauty and my connection. We do it with our emotions instead of saying like, oh my gosh, my emotions just take over. It's like, I have a deep and caring heart. I'm embracing that. I need to not let it bleed into everything. Sometimes if we find ourselves too emotionally vulnerable, especially during this time with Mercury retrograde, it's like, okay, I'm embracing my emotions. I'm embracing what I need. I'm embracing what I want, but I'm not letting myself, become absolutely consumed by things and other people's emotions. That's going to be really important. The heart in life, that's everything. The heart in life is everything. We talk about, and as a world right now, especially the Western world, but the world in general, the world in general talks about money a lot, and you want to be the upper echelons, right? You want to be the richer, the better, but it's not always the happier. And sometimes the happiest people you will ever meet are the people who live in the moment, who say, I have what I need right now. And it might not be riches to us, but the way that they connect with the world and their blessings and themselves and their lives, that's astounding. That's riches beyond measure. And then we connect with the earth. And as earth sign energy, we need to connect with the earth. Go out and walk, ground ourselves, use barefoot shoes, or stand on the earth barefoot and say, I'm connecting, I'm here. Make sure that we eat foods that are quote unquote alive, meaning that they have an energy connection with the earth, which again can sound silly, but it's that sense of, this is giving me the most nutrients. This is empowering me. This is helping me, to move forward towards my love and my life and who I am and what I need to be, because I'm connected to this cycle of being, the cycle of existing. And then we have the sword, which is the mind and the tongue and the way that we can process things and speak and, drive ourselves forward through the mode of communication, which is actually a fantastic blessing for us during this time. We claim all of this within our heart and we say, I see me. I see me in a way that I haven't seen me before. Out of all the darkness, out of all the chaos, out of all the confusion, I see me. And what's more, I found me. And it leads us to the Queen of Swords, the cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, the claiming our passion and our purpose and our focus and what we desire. We say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is who I am, period, end of discussion. We can find ourselves being a little harsh with our words. Yes, during Mercury retrograde, everybody can. So it's not singling us out, it's just saying that words can be weapons and they wound sometimes, which I believe I just quoted Cher. So what we're going to find here is that we need to embrace our minds, we need to embrace our voice, we need to embrace what we want from life, we need to embrace our focus, because in the public arena, there's a sense of good fortune around us. There's a sense of the beautiful being revealed. There's a sense of us not seeing it, though. We're going to be so busy looking out at the world and everything that we need to do in every way that we need to connect, and we're not going to see the beauty that is right behind us. Don't be so focused on everything that needs to be done or everything that needs to be obtained that we don't focus on what we have already obtained or what we have already achieved. That's going to be really powerful because people are going to see it within you, Taurus. People are going to see the beauty and the prosperity and the bounty, and they're going to be like, why don't you see it yourself? Or they're going to treat you just a little bit differently because there's going to be a shine to you, and you're going to think, oh, they don't believe in me. And they're going to think, I can leave this person alone because they can figure it out. Like they can move mountains and get to where it is that they need to be. I can see it. Now, the subconscious energy we need to be mindful of during this Mercury retrograde is the Prince of Pentacles. That's so funny. We have the Prince of Pentacles, the Princess of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. We don't have the Queen of Pentacles here, but every single pentacle, like almost every single pentacle, has come out in the court cards. We need to be mindful of money ruling our words, or that things are hidden because of money, that people aren't going to communicate things because of money, that there's going to be a hidden secret around money. So do be mindful of this. With others, with ourselves, we can find ourselves being just a little bit secretive around money, which is fine. It's nobody's business, but we need to not let money be the guiding factor of our words or of what we're listening to. Our subconscious chakra energy is nurturing. This is the Earth Star Chakra located 6 inches below our feet. We are nurturing that which is the most important to us. We are nurturing our inner psyches. We're nurturing our inner child. We're nurturing the way that we move forward and how we connect to ourselves and what we love and what we want. And we're doing so with fierceness, but also with compassion. Our subconscious rooted self is the star. This is Aquarius energy, but this is also saying to us that our dreams start to come forward, This is also saying that during Mercury retrograde, we get what we need, not what we want. So it can feel so frustrating because we can be like, wow, I'm not getting to where I want to be. And what divinity is saying here is, but I'm getting you exactly where I need you to be. So doors are going to open, all right, to the world, to this new sense of power and understanding. And we might not see it because we're trying to balance things in one way. We're looking at one door, we're looking at one specific way forward. Step back during this time and say, I'm not limited. And that's going to be really, really powerful because it starts balancing the waters. It starts to balance the emotional with the practical, the spiritual self with the earthly self. It brings us to the subconscious inner self, which is the Four of Water, the Four of Cups. That's getting a gift that we didn't know we wanted. That's getting a gift that we weren't looking for, that might not even feel like a gift, but it's going to help us with that vibrational energy. It's going to move us forward like in whale song and have a tendency to just connect with our very bone, connect with our very essence, connect with our very being. And then moves us to the subconscious inner self, emotional self. And that is the Empress. So we have the Magician, right? We claim that throne. And the Empress is claiming a throne we didn't even know we lost, claiming a voice we didn't realize was silenced. This is like coming out of darkness. This is being in maybe a bit of funk for a really for some of us it's a really long time. For others of us, it was just a short period of time. And now it's like, but this is my throne. This is my power. This is who I am. I find myself again. I find my voice. I embrace my voice. I embrace who I am. And I move forward. There is nothing and no one who gets to define me. There is nothing and no one who gets to negate me. I open the door to me, and there's extraordinary power that guides me forward. It leads us then to our subconscious public arena message, and that's the Emperor. To subconsciously have the Emperor and the Empress here, that's a soulmate connection, true love connection, that is power. Now, yes, they're not of the same deck, but they're both talking about the subconscious. And what we have here, yes, we have Aries energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Aries, or if we have Aries in the chart, that's going to be coming out. What we have here is power. What we have here is intention. What we have here is the person who says, I'm claiming my throne. I'm claiming what I want. I'm claiming who I am. And then we have the energy that says, I didn't know I lost it. And wow, I did. I lost a beautiful part of me somewhere along this journey of growing, this journey of becoming. And now I find it again. We have the warmth and we have the cold here. We have the intense of both. And we have the beauty and the building and the coming together and this sense of power and insight. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, the intensity, and the beauty of this Mercury retrograde. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus, and may you have a blessed Mercury retrograde.